Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Tajweed Questions and Answers, in which we ask some questions about Tajweed and we answer them. And today I've got Sheikh Ahmed Kamil with me, who's got some questions about Tajweed, and I'll be answering them inshallah. So let me first welcome Sheikh Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Ahmed.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How's everything?
Everything is good, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, today before we just ask some questions, I want to say that below this video in the description you will have a PDF file in which you will find the questions and the answers, just to make it easy for you. Okay, Sheikh Ahmed, what is the first question we've got today?
Before we learn Tajweed, could you tell us the meaning of Tajweed?
Of course, but before we define the meaning of Tajweed, we just need to know that we have two definitions, and this applies to everything in Tajweed. We have the linguistic meaning. This is the meaning, you find it when you look the word up in the dictionary. And the other meaning is the applied definition. This is a definition upon which the scholars of Tajweed agreed. So the linguistic definition for Tajweed is improvement. So when you make Tajweed for Quran, you improve your way of reciting Quran. As for the applied definition, this is to pronounce each letter from its place or point of articulation, from its address, and to give each letter its rights and dues.
You said rights and dues. What do you mean by rights and dues?
Okay, rights and dues may be the same meaning because both of them are characteristics for the letter. But the difference is simply that the right is the quality that never leaves the letter because it's something internal in the letter. As for the dues, this is something that, or a quality that happens as a result of another quality. For example, if we look at the letter Sad, the letter Sad has elevation, which is called al-isti'la, which is the elevating the back of the tongue. So this is a right for the letter. But as a result of this right, we'll have a do, which is we pronounce it heavy, we make it heavy, which is mufakham. So tafkhim here is a result of al-isti'la. So al-isti'la here is a right and tafkhim is a do. And this is the meaning of rights and dues.
Good. What is Tajweed related to?
Tajweed is related to the word of Allah, that is Al-Quran. And some say it's related to As-Sunnah, but if you look at the general meaning of Tajweed, you'll find that it's related only to Al-Quran, which is the word of Allah.
Okay, Sheikh Ahmed. What is the merit or the advantage of learning Tajweed?
Okay, as I've just said, Tajweed is related to the word of Allah, and this is something sufficient for us to learn Tajweed. And also to ascend in ranks, as the Prophet Muhammad said, اقرأ يقال لصاحب القرآن اقرأ ورتل وارتقي كما كنت ترتل في الدنيا فإن منزلتك عند آخر آية كنت تقرأ. Read, ascend in ranks, and recite as you used to recite in the worldly life, because your position or your rank will be at the last ayah you just recited in the worldly life. So what else do you want to learn, Tajweed?
Yes. Okay. Why do we learn Tajweed? What is the profit of learning Tajweed?
Okay, we learn Tajweed just to preserve our tongue from making mistakes, because sometimes we are affected by our normal speech. For example, in Egypt, when we come to speak in the slang language, when we pronounce tha, dhal, or dha, we may not put our tongue out, and this is not accepted in Quran. That's why we need to preserve our tongue from falling into mistakes or from making mistakes. And also, as the Prophet Muhammad said, Al-Mahiru bil-Quran, the one who's skilled in Quran, مع السفرة الكرام البررة, with the noble, upright, and blessed angels. So this is something that's breathtaking for you to learn Tajweed.
Okay, Sheikh Ahmed, the last question for today is, what is the general ruling of teaching Tajweed?
Okay, the general ruling for teaching or learning Tajweed, if you learn the theoretical or the academic part of Tajweed, this is something which is fard kifaya, which is communal obligation, that some group of society must learn it. If nobody learns it, this will be haram for all of them. But if some learn the rules of tajweed, the others don't have to learn them. As for the applied tajweed, that you apply it when you recite Quran with yourself, especially if you memorize at least one surah, this is fardu a'in, that everyone must do it.
Okay, Sheikh Ahmed, جزاكم الله خيرا. This is for today. جزاكم الله خيرا.
Okay, جزاكم الله خيرا. And if you have any questions regarding what we have just said today, please leave it in the comments below and I'll be happily answering them. جزاكم الله خيرا. For today and until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.